welcome.
Welcome to you all, and we're so honored to be sharing this space with you today.
I am Kira.
I am Hank.
And together we are expanding consciousness. And I'm just loving this moment, Hank. It's this incredible series that we're in.
And where are we?
Where are we, Hank?
Well, this is program number 3.
Mm-hmm.
And before I mention a little bit about program number 3, program 1 is the Sacred Union. Yeah. Program 2, Releasing Judgment. That was last week. And that brings us today to Unconditional Love. Such a beautiful, beautiful program, I believe.
Well, and that's why I believe you and I are here, right? Because we are here at beautiful 𝐻𝐫𝐸 Mountain in Ecuador. We're so happy to be home, back here in the Andes Mountains. And, right behind us, I like to call those my dinosaur toes. And Hank and I are actually sitting in a brand new ceremonial space of the Sacred Heart. And this was something that Hank found and revealed just a few days ago as we're preparing to meet with all of you that are coming down here to meet with us in person. And for those of you that are with us right now at YouTube, we have a lot to share because, as Hank mentioned, we started out 2 weeks ago in this incredible series on the All, talking about Sacred Union. And Hank, I do want to honor our listeners. I want to say thank you to all of you that are watching Hank and I, that you like the fact that we hold each other. I will tell you the truth. We literally cuddle all night long. God's honest truth. We are a Sacred Union couple. We are a twin flame, twin soul reunified field. And go watch that beautiful program because Sacred Union is just one of 4 steps. And how Sacred Union expresses, as we talked about so beautifully, is first within the self. When we find that sacred union within, we are available and ready to find our sacred union with another.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. And that's what brought us to last week's experience of releasing judgment. And that was a really beautiful sharing. And
So
Hank
powerful.
had so much. Your sharing was so powerful, sweetheart. I mean, all of it was amazing. And it brings us to today. And I love this one. This is number 3. And remember, these 4 experiences that we're going through have no specific order. That's when they first came in from Archangel 𝐦𝐸𝐽. However, it felt today was the day, sitting here at 𝐻𝐫𝐸 Mountain in the energy of Gaia herself in the Andes Mountains, to talk about unconditional love.
Sounds great.
Right?
Unconditional love.
Yeah.
Where does it live? Kira, where does it live? And what does it look like?
That's a great question.
More importantly, how does it feel?
I want you to really breathe that in for a minute because I'm sure a lot of people, like you and I think you and I had this experience as well, but I feel that a lot of us go, wait a minute. First of all, unconditional love is a myth, doesn't exist. It's not possible, or something to the effect of, I don't believe, or many different things are said about unconditional love. And this is really important. And I think, Hank, it goes back to what you're talking about. Where does it live? What does it look like? What does it feel like?
Now you have my attention, Kira.
You got it. I'm glad to hear that.
You didn't have it before.
Okay.
so interesting. Many of us, and certainly me, in my experiences, I did not experience the beauty of unconditional love. Or at least I was not aware. Just not aware.
That's a powerful point.
Unconditional love. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Sounds great.
Right.
How does it, and I was not aware even when it presented.
Right.
For a large part of my life, I judge myself. And I know many of us have judged or continue to judge ourselves, either on an ongoing basis or in the moment.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think, so unconditional love, for me, was in opening my heart.
Yeah.
Really accepting myself and realizing my uniqueness and my strengths and my beauty.
Now, that's something that I think a lot of people say, okay, Hank, help me with that. So unconditional love was something that had to be discovered within, right? How can we ever truly love another if we are unable to love ourselves? If you are not taking care of you, then how can you ever really be there to take care of another, right? The empty well experience. So we want to fill, and we're filling, and that's what this series is about, the all. We're filling our cup, we're filling our chalice. We are that creative force, that beautiful energy of Gaia herself. And so what we're doing right now is saying, okay, if unconditional love begins within right now, if opening the heart is the way to begin, falling into the self, how did you do that? because you've arrived there, right? Hank arrived there, and in that arrival, so much has expanded and come forward, and the creation and that law of instantaneous manifestation through the full acceptance and embodiment of the Yoga of Self-Ascension. So I'm sure people are going, all right, Hank, how? How?
Well, many of us as humans, at least in the early part of our evolution, always wanted to be right. In order for me to be right, you need to be wrong, honey.
Ooh, right? I'd rather be happy.
Kind of made me feel better. Not in this experience, but just in past experiences in this lifetime. And so, when I really felt into my heart, and it's all about that acceptance, that appreciation, that gratitude,
right,
and thankfulness, for the I, for the you, as we are of you, and we are of we, and we are of I. So in that moment, my heart just expanded. And if you breathe and open up, it'll continue, I believe, to expand in that appreciation of self, expand in thy love of self. For you are unique, as I am unique, as Kira is unique. And collectively, it's magic.
That's the word. That, can I hop in on that? Because that really is the word. That's one of the reasons why we're here at Tosa Blue Mountain is the magic. Because unconditional love begins when we say yes to ourselves, when we say yes to this lifetime. And I want to remind you of something. You might have heard this before, you might have heard me say this over the years as well. But when we can really give ourselves the gift of opening our heart by, you ready? Giving up all hope of a better past. Breathe that in. Giving up all hope of a better past. What it does is it brings us into the now. And wasn't it Archangel 𝐦𝐫𝐞 who said, there is only the now and the soon to be now? And so unconditional love begins when we realize and we say, yes, Hank and I are sitting here right now in a property that's really paradise. And I'm going to do a quick scan. We'll show you just a little bit of where we are in this sacred heart. And we're doing a ceremony for you right now. But the gift of that is that when Gaia feels you, when you become one with the planet, unconditional love becomes you. You are constantly receiving because your energy is in harmony with all. And this is powerful.
Yeah. And, Kira, loving oneself, that unconditional love, that's the key.
Yeah.
It's all emanates from here. As we've moved through these various different series, and now we're on series 3, and each and every one of the programs, we came back to the I.
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Because the I is where it all emanates, the heart, and feeling into it as a human.
Yes. And seeing beyond that, right? Seeing the gift of I am as you are. I think many years ago I shared in one of my books that it was the day I looked in the mirror and really got that the only thing I had in common with every single thing in my life was me. And so obviously the person looking in the mirror needed to make a decision. I could continue the way things had been and continue the way that I had been, or I could wake up and say, you know what? I really do want to live differently. I really don't want to live my life in corporate drama and all these other things that led me to have cancer and, nearly killed me at 29. It's like, no, I'm going to look in the mirror and realize this, right? The only thing you can ever change is you. And so when we let go of our need to control others and our need to change others, when we lift into our multidimensional field, when we can witness that witnesser, right? That's when unconditional love is the emanation of your truth. At the end of the day, what is unconditional love? Loving yourself enough to remember the gift of who you are and being available to offer that without any strings attached.
Right. It's about, realizing and releasing self-judgment, releasing all judgment, releasing expectation wherever possible. The more that I accept myself, the more deeper I can love myself and realize that everybody loves differently.
Yes.
Some aspect, sometimes a lot. The needs may be different, but we're all different. And when, I had perceived things as a judgment or being critical, consider It may not have been judgmental or critical. It was just how I was taking it. It is possibly how that other being loves unconditionally. Be more accepting of self. That's what we invite you to experience.
Yeah, and to know the truth of that, to know that you deserve because you were born.
Because
And
you are.
exactly. And I am as you are. Imagine that reflection, the blessing, right? Was it not the divine brethren who many years ago came forward and said, imagine a world where with each breath and with every moment, you only see the highest of all that your eyes cast upon. Imagine every person you meet in their highest version. See them that way because your presence and your mastery and your unconditional love will invite them to lift into that experience. The gift of unconditional love. It's a blessing and it's yours. It's not a myth. And I love the word you opened with, Hank. It is magic.
And as you dive deeper and deeper into unconditional love,
Yeah.
words don't even need to be expressed. Your energetic field will be realized, by another. That smile that'll come forward as you're walking towards someone, not just from you, but possibly from the other being first.
Exactly. Because unconditional love is also a gift of empowerment. And I want to touch on that for a moment because a lot of times we think about unconditional love and we only have this sense of it all being a lot of what you are talking about in the chat about Hank and I. And that's all very true. And that's all very there. And the other aspect of unconditional love is to love yourself and others enough not to interfere with their path.
Mm-hmm.
Unconditional love means, and I think this is really powerful, Hank. I have shared about this on the air before, is that through that sacred sequence of incarnation, that recognition, and this is especially powerful as parents, and I'm going to invite you to just really pull this one in. I'm a mother. I love my daughters implicitly, and I do not own them. Their lives are theirs to live. They are as much responsible, as much aware, as much eternal, incredible, independent beings as I am, as you are. So if when you walk the walk, your immediate family will always be the first, I'm not going to use the word block, but the first reflection of the journey. And so our biological...
And the challenges.
Exactly, right? Because that's how we walk through it. It's through the choice of those biological families. And remember, if you don't know about the sacred sequence of incarnation, dig into this YouTube channel, just put in sacred sequence of incarnation, watch. I have several teachings about that. Because if you own it, if you own your spiritual journey, if you own the yoga of self-ascension, if you own all of the blessings that you are, then who are we to think that we're here to control others' journey as well? We each have the right to our own journey. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to support it. It doesn't mean that you don't have the right to it. That's unconditional love too, is loving yourself enough to continue in your own journey, in your own experience, without the interference of the control of another. That's unconditional love. An aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holding that power, within, sharing it to the degree that feels comfortable, opening that door for another to engage.
Yeah.
At the level and within the parameters that you set, that you feel comfortable with. Being respectful, of course.
Yes.
And also being respectful of self. Remember, honor thyself always. When you honor yourself, you honor all. When I honor myself, I love myself more, the greater my capacity to love you, my dear, and to love all of you dears out there.
Absolutely, in every way. And that's the beauty, is it not, to say yes to you? Remember, authenticity is the key. And so that's what this series, The All, is about. It's about the blessing that comes in when we fully integrate our allness into oneness, when the I has this experience through the open availability of the yoga of self-ascension. Through what? Well, through releasing judgment, through giving ourselves the gift, the absolute gift of sacred union, stepping into unconditional love. Because from there...
That takes me right into the B.
Yeah.
in being.
I love
Things that we've addressed a lot. In
Yes.
being who we are and just honoring thyself always and experience the beauty of self in being and fostering another to be.
I love that. And in fostering another to be through our beingness.
And being safe.
Right?
When an individual self feels safe, they surf that and experience in being.
Yeah.
And the beauty in being and that sense of self-love and the love of all. It just emanates without, and you provide that safe space to another, and magic.
That's the word of the day. That really is the word of the day. And my heart is just so happy that you are here. And that, again, Hank and I really appreciate all of your comments and your support of us. I personally, for those of you that have been watching me, I am honored to have had the blessing of watching some of your children have children. Thank you for the love you're pouring out toward Hank and I together. We do, every one of your comments we read, every one of them we respond to. And part of the unconditional love that we carry through the Yoga of Self-Ascension is the knowing that you are doing it perfectly. The key is to let go of that judgment and remember that the more that you say yes, unconditional love doesn't mean you're not ever going to have a bad day. It just means that nothing can interfere. Remember that the greatest sin, remember Archangel 𝐦𝐫𝐝𝐞? Got to share this before we culminate today, but it was Archangel 𝐦𝐫𝐝𝐞 who said so beautifully, if there is one sin, as we of this world would call it, it would be to interfere with the path of another, or to allow another to interfere with your path. When we unconditionally love ourselves, we cannot be interfered with because we know our truth. And that's going to bring us to next week, which I'm very excited about, the moment where we will surrender into the oneness. It's a beautiful gift.
So, Kira, before we sign on to whatever's the next...
Before we say yes again.
Yes.
You know it.
Why don't you take us on a short little journey, because we're only in one little grotto of
I love this,
25 acre
let's do this together.
Property.
Okay, so Hank and I are going to do this together, guys. So we're going to stand up, and the first thing we want to show you is look where we are. Right here, right there is an ancient wall. That wall is over 5,000 years old, and we call it Ganesha's Grotto because above it, and I don't know, Hank, can they see? Probably not.
Not too much, but you'll catch
too much.
the wall over here.
Oh, there we go. Let's do that. So here we go, guys. I'm going to just do a quick 360 and bring you around. Right down here is the tree of wisdom. That sacred circle has been a 𝐦𝐤𝐝𝐿 sacred ceremonial site for thousands of years. There's the ceremony that Hank and I were performing in our Sacred Heart area. And we're going to let you see something quite amazing, our Om garden. So the Om garden right there, I'm not going to let you see the actual Om inside of it right now, but you do see our beautiful golden compadres mountains. Today, Hank and I will be putting the new Om in the Om garden because that Om I was told to leave until he came. And today is that day because of the peak ascension energy happening on July 20. And as Hank was mentioning, you want to share a little, Hank? What are we staring at here? Look at this, guys. Is this crazy beautiful?
These are the remnants of that ancient Inca wall that you talked about. But not only in terms of this ancient wall, there's amazingly deep and very spiritual and sacred aspects of the Canary, pre-Inca, here on this property, up on the mountain, at that temple that's up there.
Yeah. Let's show them the Temescal, shall we? Let's go up to the Temescal. We're going to close there, guys, because we started in ceremony, and we're going to bring you to the ceremony. So as we're going to the Temescal, it's early sunset here, and I just want to show you a little more of the Om garden, looking out to the beautiful compadres mountains. Beautiful afternoon here in the Andes Mountains of Ecuador.
I think we're going to come across a tributary of the Inca Canal, the original
Oh my
Inca
gosh,
Canal
it's right here, isn't it? So look at this.
We're going to stop talking, and then hopefully you'll be able to pick up the sound of the water.
Guys.
And this runs throughout the property, both across from side to side and then down, and helps to feed and nourish our neighbor's land.
And this is part of our Minga, where we are allowed to use as much water as we need, as long as it always flows for our neighbor. And right here, we just planted banana trees. So we have new banana trees coming in, and we are coming up to where we're going to close today, because it's important, especially with unconditional love. This is, I'm going to show them this real quick, Hank. This is the original Chicana fire pit. The reason it's covered is because we are preparing for ceremony for those who are coming, and you might kind of see hiding. That's where we're going. All right, Hank. Of course, ginger, guys. This is all ginger behind us, and it smells incredible. It would make any other beautiful flower blush with its incredible blossoms. And here we are. Hank, would you go open the door for us?
With pleasure.
All right, and this is the temazcal. When I lived among the Maya in Guatemala, they taught me the secrets of making this. This one is 𝐦𝐸𝐽𝐽. This is a 𝐦𝐸𝐽𝐽 man. This is a 𝐦𝐸𝐽𝐽 woman. And they say this is me. And Hank is offering his prayer walking in. When you walk into a temazcal, the door is always low so that you're forced to bow and give your prayer. So you ready, guys? Let's bow together. And I'm going to let you see it. I'm going to go like that. There you go. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the temazcal. And this is the home of many different ceremonies, and where Hank and I offer prayer, and where we know your heart is with us.
One of the things that's so amazing is that this little walk we did is not only, God, it's such a small part of this sacred land.
Yeah.
I don't even know. It's like maybe 3% you have
about
seen.
Right. And that's really true. It's really true. So my loves, from Hank and I, we love you. Unconditional love is the gateway.
Experience it.
You're worth it.
Namaste.